Hey, Brian, how are your balls? Are they hairy?
Not right now. You know, they're not completely
hairless.
But they're just tidy.
They're tidy enough. Why is that?
Manscaped.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Do you know those guys are the official sponsor, I didn't even know this, of the UFC?
Really?
Those guys are the guys that help keep the balls of UFC fighters trim.
That's the thing, right? You're getting in the octagon. You don't want hairy balls.
If you want their package, their product package 4.0.
4.0?
4.0.
Wow,
We've been here since 2.0. We did 3.0. Now we're doing 4.0.
We're lifers, really.
We're helping you guys upgrade as you go because there's only going to be better ways to trim your balls.
Well, the hardware just keeps getting better and better because this lot, they're on it. I just want to let people know out there, right?
Yeah.
If you're a man, trim your nose hairs. I don't feel right with a really hairy nose. Do you know what I mean? I need things to feel smooth. That right now, you could have your dinner off it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you would want your dinner off it.
The point is they keep me smooth
with the weed whacker.
But also, they keep me sharp.
They also keep you discounted, Brian, because I believe, and I had to look this up in my notes here just to make sure it was true, 20% off and free shipping with code PAINGAME on manscaped.com.
Well, I've been getting tattoos lately.
Yeah.
And I've been using Manscaped to prep.
Really?
Before.
To shave before? I like that.
Yeah, because I mean, it's the safest way possible.
And so if you get Manscaped 20% off and free shipping using the code PAINGAME on manscaped.com, then you and your sparring partner will be thanking us very soon.
Happy sparring.
Oh, you're going to be sparring that. That's you hitting the G-spot after all this. We have a good time. Thanks for coming. See ya.
At one time, I was homeless. Instead of going home every night, there was no home to go to.
Life at home was very difficult. I grew up being abused.
I lost my belt. I lost respect. I embarrassed my family.
My vision was pretty much non-existent. I was able to just about scrape by the medicals.
When I come out, I have supreme confidence, but I'm scared to death. I'm afraid of everything.
I didn't care about living, I just wanted to die. I got up and I felt the weight of the world was lifted off my shoulders. I knew I was going to make a comeback.
Fighting, this was designed for me. This is what makes us who we are.
I'm the best. Who the fuck is
that? I'm so far ahead of this game. My dream, my vision for myself is to be the greatest martial artist to ever live.
I have always been a fighter. There is nothing I do better in this life than fighting. There ain't never been a man that could better me. I was born to do this.
Nobody can get close. I'm the best fighter in the world.
I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been.
Welcome back to the Pain Game podcast. Today's guest, it's my old mate Viddal Riley.
Come on.
It's the realist.
It's been a few years since our last 1-to-1.
Yeah, 4
years.
Yeah.
It's flying, though.
It's fucking mad,
It's
that.
flying.
We're
still look the same, though, not aging yet.
Yeah. We're like old mates now. Do you know what I mean? Like,
we sparred each other. You've hit me, I've hit you. We've been through things.
I texted you the other day. I was getting tattooed, and you were like, "That looks painful." I was like, "Not as bad as a punch in the face off you, but it's pretty bad." Like,
and I replied, "That's true."
No, I must admit, right, when I was watching your last fight, obviously I've never sparred you properly. Like, people have seen how you sparred Eddie. You look after people in there. You're not trying to take the piss. But when I was watching the last guy you fought, I was saying to people around me, I was like, this guy's made of stone, by the way, because each of those punches, I have an idea of what they're going to be like. So fair fucks to the guy, you know what I mean?
I was surprised. Surprised at how much he took, but at the same time, I wasn't. He's a veteran.
Yeah.
We knew he was an opponent that if we do the right things, we can get rid of him.
Well, first round,
he knows how to survive. Yeah, he knows how to survive. He knows his way around the ring.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot in that fight, so I'm just ready to go again now.
Yeah, I wondered how that would be feeling because the pressure must have been on you. You'd been out of the ring for so long. The injuries had kept you out. COVID had kept you out. You'd been coming back from America. You'd been through a lot, actually, for a young man. Because people forget, because you're a big guy. Like, you're still young as fuck. How old are you now?
24.
Right, 24.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've already got, all of these followers. You've got a reputation. People forget, McGregor was only 24 when he was just starting to take off in the UFC.
Literally.
So you're ahead of the game in many regards. But there was a lot on your shoulders coming into that fight, and I think it showed a little bit.
Definitely. I got over eager in the fight. I felt that. But all the factors that you named just there, of course, they play a part. And in hindsight, we can always say, all right, yeah, it really did play a part. At the time, you're just trying to block it out and get on with what you need to do. But I was excited to fight. I knew people was wanting to see something impressive. It's my first fight under a new promoter. You want to show your skills, what's all the hype about. And I was boxing brilliantly in the beginning, led to the knockdown.
That knockdown, by the way.
I'm glad that knockdown
Beautiful.
happened because, it just shows the skills that are there. And I haven't even showed all of them yet.
Well, the knockdown came to me when your mind was clear. It was a reactionary thing, and you are a very great reactionary fighter. Yeah. And it was so natural. But the minute that happened, I feel like you started overthinking. I was like, right now I've got to get him out of here.
From that point, I got eager for the finish. For sure, I wanted the finish. I spoke about it. I trained for it. But yeah, you can't force those things.
We've seen Eddie Hall, right? The world's strongest man.
Yeah.
The neck on this guy, and even he at one point goes to you, can you tone the fucking power down? Yeah. And I watched that, right? I'm one of the few people who can watch and go, I know what that feels like, bro. I know what that feels like.
I thought, why don't you wear a head guard?
Yeah.
Why don't you put a head guard
I guess he's trying to get himself ready for the...
I hear it.
We could definitely talk about the Thor and Eddie fight.
I tell you, Eddie didn't keep his power down on me. He was out there swinging.
I noticed that, yeah. And I feel like, because in Eddie's head, I know how that feels anyway. I remember thinking, I'm a baby in skill compared to you.
Yeah.
I might have the power, but in my head, I was always thinking, he'll do the right thing at the right time. But sometimes even pros don't. And he did catch you a little bit here and there.
No, he caught me with one big one.
Yeah.
He did catch me throughout the spar, of course, as boxing.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, one of them was a hefty swing. I thought I was out of range, trying to look pretty, and big swing came over.
He's fast for a big guy.
Saw a couple stars for a bit. Looked at Leon. I was like, just give me some water, please. Man. Keep this moving. Let's move now. Yeah, next round I'm gonna get you.
That should make you feel something though, because you've taken, obviously he's not a pro boxer, but how many people are going to be able to hit like he can? If you can take that, you got to change.
It's important. What I'm learning throughout my journey is it's important to always reference what you've done. Part of me staying humble is just moving, doing what I do and move.
Yeah.
But it's important when you're putting yourself in certain situations, go back, reference what you've done, remember what you've done, because when I look at what I've done in boxing, every bit of nerves leaves my body.
No, that's interesting, because when you're stepping through those ropes, and we could say on camera, for example, that Eddie is twice the size of you in terms of just sheer thickness and density there, and yet you look loose, you look relaxed, you don't look at someone who's in fear by any means. But even for you, is there a shred of fuck me, if this guy hits me, I may got to be on my guard.
When I was sparring with Eddie, I didn't think about it too much. I just knew you got force. You're gonna swing with force, but I didn't think about it too much. Once he hit me on the arm and just little things where he wasn't landing cleanly, but my body's still shifting, I said, okay, right, I know what I'm dealing with.
It's a different animal, right?
Yeah, because he could hit your shoulder and you move like he's hitting you in the face.
Yeah,
and I'm like, okay, cool. This is what I'm dealing with.
And then, so in your last fight, was your big comeback fight. Your highlight moment in that fight was early on, reactionary, not thinking. You land the uppercut. He goes down, and in my head, I'm like, right, this is over. You know what I mean? And I'm assuming you were feeling the same way.
I was feeling, I thought, okay, I was watching him. I knew he was gonna get up, and I thought, one more shot, and I'll get him. Instead of let's continue having fun. Let's play the game.
That's it.
I'll get him again.
Yes.
It was more like, one more, I'm a done your dance.
Yeah.
One more. But then that boxing is not how I box. So it's about staying true to myself. And it's experience. I'm learning. I'm only going to get better.
Obviously, I know that your dad's been training you for a long time now behind the scenes to gear you towards making you the prize fighter, changing the style from amateur guy who outpoints his opponents and makes them look silly, and because it's about a different thing entirely, prize fighting, isn't it? And you could see that was paying off in there. It was just a case of he was just shelling up and not committing.
The essence of the amateur game is point scoring, and the essence of the pro game is damage. You scored on damage. Whoever does the most damage normally wins.
Yeah.
So there's adjustments you got to make for that. He felt damage early when he was being positive. If he stayed positive, I would have stopped him.
Yeah, maybe you showed him a little too much too soon, maybe.
Right,
yeah.
and I feel like once I knocked him down, he thought, well, I'm not playing this game. I'm gonna do my
Absolutely.
thing. Yeah, and I fell into his hands by letting him get away with doing his game.
Yeah.
His game was, I'm gonna spoil and survive. I let him spoil and survive. Whereas in the beginning, when he was trying to fight me and thinking, who's this guy coming out starting for us, throwing triple jabs, and like, who does he think he is? He got put down.
People will have heard your dad actually in that fight.
It's not hard to miss his voice, you know. His voice is prominent.
We were howling when we were watching it back, because obviously we know Derek so well now from the documentary, and you can hear him 2, 3 fucking times, and I was like, oh.
Listen, I can hear it.
Yeah.
I hear it when I'm walking on the road on a normal day.
Yeah.
It stays in my head. It has to now as well, because I know the advice he's giving me is correct.
Absolutely.
I know the advice he's giving me, I follow it, I get to the top.
Yeah.
And I can't let emotions get in the way of that. I can't get overexcited and not listen, because I know he, when it comes to boxing, he don't give me anything wrong. Yeah,
it's funny when I was watching you, right? I was hearing your voice in my head, because so much of what I know about boxing I learned from you, obviously. And one of the things that you taught me that I'd never really considered while watching boxing, and your dad says it as well, obviously, it's like that tap, tap, bang. Like the power variables in your punches can give the other guy the illusion of, oh, I'm all right here.
Yeah.
And you weren't doing that at the time because you were ferocious in there, you know what I mean? You were going for the kill.
The same intensity.
Yeah, but I kept thinking, if you just give him that illusion of safety, you'll be gone in about 2 seconds, you know.
And that's what, again, reminds you it's a game.
Yeah.
It's a game. Boxing's a painful game.
The pain game itself.
Pain game. But it is a game.
Yeah.
And when playing possum, luring your opponent into doing what you want them to do is a major part of the game. You can't crash the front door down to get results, especially as the level goes up.
Yeah, and I mean, even like Anthony Joshua and the like have found that out the hard way, really. Like Usyk Joshua was a classic example of that, in my opinion.
It's this technique.
Yeah.
There's ways. It's a game. Usyk plays the game.
A masterful
brilliantly,
way.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
In
That
every
fight
aspect.
I've watched that fight so many times back, because to me it's like, in order for you to come up a weight class and navigate a bull in Anthony Joshua the way he did and make him look silly.
Took his punches as well.
Yeah, and when he did connect, he took the punches. But there was so many times where AJ was like, where is it? Like,
you can't land. When you can't lock your target in, you can't land.
Yeah.
And Usyk's mastered that concept. He understands something has to be moving at all times.
I mean, they're we'll get on to them actually, because they're rematching this year. Obviously, Usyk's been fighting a war, which fuck knows what that's going to do. It seems like some sort of thing out of a movie.
I feel like AJ has a lot to change. I don't think he should get too invested in the whole, if I was more aggressive, I would have won thing. Because as we spoke about in my situation, certain fighters, you're more aggressive, you're going to get hit more as well. You can't discredit that. So,
and Usyk knows what everyone's saying.
And he switched on. He switched on, so he knows what you're gonna come harder this time. Obviously, you want your belts back naturally. If I take something that's yours, you're gonna try harder to get it back. So I think he knows what to expect.
Yeah, the one hope for AJ that I when I rewatched the Usyk fight was I think it was around the middle of the fight. There's a shot that lands on Usyk. Usyk backs the fuck off.
Was it like a right hook?
I think it might have been like or a straight right. But I remember thinking, that's the moment. That's where you've got to go. And in my opinion, the strategy for AJ could be, look, you're going to lose rounds. That's just going to happen.
Yeah.
But you have to, when that single moment happens where you do hit him, you got to unload the clip at that point and go fucking hell for leather.
That's the thing. It's a difficult one because we don't really see Usyk hurt. He stumbled back, but how hurt is he? That's a element you have to remember because, again, you can stumble back. Usyk goes, look at him, he's about to run in, and who knows what happens then. And we've seen Ruiz when we believed Ruiz was vulnerable in the first fight against AJ, and that's when the counters come in. So it's a difficult fight for AJ to win. I back Usyk to win it just because I feel like what he knows is ingrained into him. It's not new lessons. It's things that he's been doing. Forever. So it's going to be hard to beat someone who knows more than you and has been doing it for longer.
Well, it's kind of like what we were saying about your fight, in that the difficulty you had was when you started thinking, and for AJ, you can see he second guesses himself quite a lot, whereas Usyk is just playing the game.
That's it. And the fight can be won by any man. AJ proved in the first fight he's got skills to beat Usyk.
Mm-hmm.
He's capable of beating Usyk, but how much of those moments can he get in the next set of 12 rounds that they have?
Yeah. We've got the big fight coming up on the weekend.
Yeah.
Fury versus Whyte. You sparred Dillian Whyte.
Yes.
What was it like being in the ring with him?
So I sparred him, I think we done like 4 rounds. I think when heavyweights spar with lighter people, the speed puts them off. That's what I think. And I think, especially at that time where I was still definitely more in amateur mode than I am now, the first 4 rounds I was always going to do what I'm doing, move around, pick, like he's looking for me.
And he's not the fastest on his feet either.
No,
you're grease
quick
lightning.
on my feet, right.
Yeah, so
it's like when I used to get happy about things like that, but then you realize they're pros, they play the game completely different. He's not thinking about punching you until around 6, really. If you know what I mean?
Aye.
By around 6, 7, we would really see what's happening. His 4 rounds, he's got another sparring partner waiting on the outside. He's probably trying to chill because he knows the guy that's coming in for the next 4s, I'm going to be more tired. He's fresher. Let me reserve myself. I ain't going to go all out on Viddal. But definitely for the 4 rounds, it was thinking, I don't want to get hit by you. I know you swing some overhand rights.
It's wild, isn't it?
Signature overhand right,
yeah.
His left hook is short, on point. So those were the 2 things I thought about, and I kind of just kept it long range, moved around, picked my punches.
So the last 2 fights he had against Povetkin, I think we've seen the best and the worst of him in those 2 fights. I think he just demolitioned him in the rematch, but then we've seen with that uppercut, we've seen AJ knock him out with the uppercut, Povetkin knock him out with the uppercut, and it's this spot on him, and I just believe that it's this one thing about him where if you hit that spot,
uppercut,
boom, he goes, and he flatlines as well when it happens.
It seems that way. I don't know.
I'm not saying he's got a glass jaw because
no.
I've seen the guy. He's been in wars and he's taken like some of the AJ shots were unbelievable.
He's taken big
but
punches.
What I mean is it's just that one. I feel like it's that one punch that just for whatever reason it can be his undoing because he didn't take much damage at all against Povetkin in that first fight. He was on top. He was cruising and then boom.
Lights out. And Povetkin, he's built to hook. Like he's built for short punches. When it comes to hooks and uppercuts, his body shape even, you can see he's designed for short demolition. And by slipping on the outside, throwing that shot, brilliant. I think Whyte and Fury is a close fight up until round 6. I think Fury's pace, that leaning and grabbing and picking and dancing and switching, and it's too much. But I see Fury getting dropped though.
Oh, again?
Yeah, I predict that early.
Really?
Because I think they might scrap for a bit.
See, I look at that fight and I feel like if Fury wants to, he can make it very easy for himself. But knowing the ego of the man, what the show he wants to put on, I don't know if he'll do that.
That's the angle I'm thinking from.
If he wanted to Klitschko him and just leave without a mark on him, he could do that.
He's a showman again.
Yeah.
He's got 94,000 people there. After that ring walk, and Whyte's looking at him, he's gonna go for it. He's gonna go for a little. Let's see what you got, and then he might get dropped or whatnot. Something happened. Then he gets up and he says, "You know what? I know I'm a better boxer than you. I'm just gonna outmuscle you, outbox you."
It must be frustrating for AJ watching the road that Fury has taken, because when I watched AJ's fights back at the start of the Ruiz defeat and the Usyk, sorry. At the start of the fight, you hear the commentators go, and if he can get past this one, that sets up the mega fight.
Yeah.
And AJ's legacy is missing the mega fights. The Deontay Wilder, the Tyson Fury. He doesn't have that. And although his actual record is great.
You get 2 different types of reputations. You can fight the best fighters, which AJ has done. No one can ever say otherwise. Don't want to hear it. He's definitely fought the best fighters, but he hasn't fought the fighters people want to see him fight.
That's the problem, yeah.
And at the end of the day, we're here to entertain the people. AJ needs that fight more than Fury in terms of the people. Not his credentials, of course. He's already 2-time heavyweight champion of the world. But I mean,
the people have jumped. I feel like the people have jumped ship a bit now.
Yeah.
Like the fact that Fury now holds the record for Wembley
See, and AJ's been in Wembley.
Yep.
And then Fury now holds the record. These things are going to irritate you. These things are going to irritate you. And it's going to make you want to fight the guy. And I hope that fight happens regardless of AJ beating Usyk or not. Because no one's going to remember the belts that were on the line. I promise you. We walk down the street 15 years ago, like, you remember the WBA, WBC was on the line, you know?
True,
no one's going to say that. They're going to say, do you remember the fight? So hopefully that fight happens for that reason.
Have you seen David Haye again has picked against Tyson Fury?
He always does
I
that.
know, it's so funny though, because it winds old man Fury up so much.
He's got a little grudge on him.
Yeah, he does.
They were supposed to fight twice.
Yeah.
I think. And that would have been, I would have loved
David
to see
Haye
that.
pulled out both times.
Yeah, and see that he probably don't want to hear about Fury.
It must wind him up, yeah.
I feel like he's saying it and he means it. I don't know. I don't think he's coming from a spiteful place, but I feel like it's easier for him to go against.
I think there's
Steve
a hint of
just
him
because of that little history.
I think he's trolling a little bit because John, like, weren't you in the?
I was in.
You did something with John,
the
didn't
BT for Woodley and Jake. We done the thing with standing around.
Yeah, so
Dan Hardy.
you've met John, so you understand the man. And
he was cool. I was expecting more. I was expecting him to be more on me because I wasn't like backing Tommy like that for the Jake fight, but I think I know how to talk well. So he was all right.
I also think that you're seeing how Big John spoke to Cole Frampton,
Yeah.
and Cole Frampton's like looking up at Big John, and he's like, "I used to respect you," and I'm like, "Mate, you fucking stood your ground there. Fair play to Cole Frampton."
But you know what, John, he don't need to go around doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's entitled to his opinion.
Do you think he'd ever do that to you? Just.
I probably would. He probably would. But I'm not going nowhere if that happens.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Just call
he's
Derek.
built how he's built.
Just say, well,
yeah,
put the
I don't even
fucking
need to
dance
do
in the
that. I don't even need to do that. He'll be there anyway. I don't even have to call my dad.
Derek.
He's there. He's right there anyway. But I mean, he's built how he's built. I'm built how I'm built.
Yeah.
You're not going to just talk to me like that.
Nah.
You know, and Frampton obviously felt that way because he was there.
Yeah.
And I just feel like it's unnecessary though. You don't need to put light on yourself for things like that because no one rates it. You know what I mean? We're going to talk about it for a couple of tweets and then it's dead.
Tommy's actually on the undercard. It's not a great undercard, but they put Tommy on. He's against a 10-1 fighter. Him and Jake Paul were going to fight. Tommy pulls out. Now I think Tommy has to earn that back again.
It's just mad, isn't it? You're trying to earn a fight with the guy you keep saying he's not a boxer. But you're trying to earn a fight with him.
Exactly.
It's mad.
Exactly.
It's not making sense. But yeah, I don't know much about his opponent.
So the last fights that the two of them had, Tommy fought that little wrestler.
Yeah, what's his name?
Anthony.
Yeah, that's it. Pretty Boy Taylor.
I mean, he fought on the YouTube
the show star thing. Man. Yeah,
and he didn't look good on that. And you're thinking like, because Logan told me that he sparred Anthony, and that he got him out there in a round, right after being on the piss for like months.
I believe him,
and I do as well, but because of the way he just spoke so like confidently about it. It wasn't like a bragging. He was like, mate, I got this guy out there in one round after being on the piss for 3 months or whatever. And after watching this Anthony Taylor fella in his YouTuber boxing thing, I thought, yeah, he's bad. He's not. He's
an MMA fighter predominantly.
A short little one as well. He ain't like he's even comparable in size.
Short little one. Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's not even on Tommy Fury's level in size.
He should have got rid of him. And the fight, he won it, but it was like.
It was all right. You won, but you were supposed to get him out of there. But you didn't even you didn't even look good against him. You know what I mean?
And Jake spars with Taylor.
Yeah,
and I'm sure when Jake is sparring with him, he's probably practicing a few bits and pieces. I don't think he's trying to take his head off.
So this is the thing when Big John gets offended by people not picking his son against Jake. It's like, did you watch your son's last fight?
Yeah, we don't have to pick your son.
No, I mean,
you have to back your son.
Yeah,
he's supposed to do that.
Yeah,
but just allow us, man. If we don't think that, we don't think that.
Yeah, but this to be honest with you, the one thing I will say is Tommy did show more variety of boxing skills against Anthony than Jake did against Tyron Woodley.
True.
I felt like Tyron Woodley, the last fight, although the knockout was spectacular, it was a fucking banging knockout.
Do you think
the fight wasn't great?
Great knockout.
Great knockout, bad fight.
Knockout,
bad fight. Yeah.
Do you think Tyron was winning that fight? I have two quick questions. Do you think Tyron was winning?
I thought it was one of those fights where it was so bad you think like it's like I don't really want to score this for anyone. It's just so bad. Like, I was watching Jake and I was thinking, where are your fundamentals? Where is the jab?
What would you have done if you was a judge ringside? What would you have been doing? Where would you have been edging the fight?
I can't, to be honest with you, I can't remember, because I remember watching, we watched it live, and I remember saying to Lawrence, like, this ain't good, bro. Like, I got to a point where, because I want Jake to do well, because it's better for me, it's better for our industry. Of course. The more noise he makes, the easier my life is, right? So I've got content off of that. You know how it is. And I was just like thinking, like, the last fight you guys had wasn't good. This is probably worse. And like, I just remember thinking, I'm not seeing the development in Jake's game right now that I expected to be seeing. So I kind of just shut down from scoring. It was that bad.
I think Tyron was winning the fight, not by much at all. And if it went Jake's way, ain't no one saying anything.
But no one looked good.
No, and then that knockout came.
Saved the day.
Do you mentioned Tommy showing more technical ability against Anthony Taylor? Do you think he would have showed more technical ability against Tyron Woodley? Because I don't think so. I think it would have. I
think when there's someone on the opposite side of the ring who can hurt you, which Tyron Woodley can, I don't think he would have been as confident, and he's putting his punches together in the way he was. I don't think he would have been, to be honest. So that's where the interesting thing between him and Jake comes, and that's why there's a debate here, and that's what I think Big John doesn't understand, is that when we don't automatically go boxer, not a boxer. It's like,
we're looking at it for what it is, you know.
It's really
the title.
Close, mate.
Yeah, not for the title given. We can't judge people on their title. Yeah. We have to judge.
Who made him a boxer? What? Because he had boxing fights. Jake's had boxing fights.
You think Tommy beats Tyron?
Yeah, by a decision though. I don't think he knocks Tyron out the way Jake did. I think that's one thing. Jake commits to his punches in a way I don't think Tommy does. But Tommy has a nice. You know, he's been around boxing so long. He's a nice toolbox. Some of his shots and some of his little moves, I'm like, oh, that was all right. You know, I do see little things here and there, but I don't know if it's up there with him. You know what I mean? Whereas Jake, I think, has got the mentality of a fighter. Right. I've been impressed with his coach in his interviews.
BJ
Flores. I've always been impressed with everything he had to say. But I know it's his first time coaching a fighter. And I know it's different when you've got, you know, Gibb coming towards you as opposed to Tyron Woodley. But some of his backwards fighting and his basic jabs and stuff against Gibb, I felt like were more like clean than against Tyron Woodley. And I'm like, well, that was 2 years ago. Why? What's happened here?
It's right when I reflect on it.
Yeah, like when Gibb was right on him, I thought, wow, he's really dealing with this pressure quite well here. Whereas against Woodley, I don't know what happened. And he did say afterwards, to be fair to Jake, and this isn't me being a hater because I like the kid, but it was like, he's like, I don't know, my legs just felt like jelly again. And I was like, I don't know what's going on there. It's weird.
Yeah, maybe what he's done, he needed a rest. It's intense. He trains hard. He's fighting very often.
I wonder who's going to be next. Could be apparently Nate Diaz wants to do it.
Nate Diaz, I feel like he's been wanting that fight for a while. Yeah. It's a good fight. We know that Nate is known even in the MMA room for his boxing. Yeah. So it's a nice, you know, okay, you got good hands. No one can tell me you're a wrestler. Let me fight you. It makes sense.
And he's taller. It's going to look much more comparable in like height and all of that. And the pre-fight height would be great. The only thing is I think the UFC have known what the plan is, so they've held on to Nate's contract. And with Conor McGregor coming back, they've locked Nate in and gone, do the trilogy with McGregor, and then we'll let you go. So I think that's going to be McGregor's next fight.
I guess that's good for Nate as well. It's not bad. I know maybe if it's not what he wanted to do, he's going to be a bit pissed about it. But you're going to cash out. You know, people always care about you two fighting because there's history there. And then back to back, another payday against Jake.
And he's got a better chance against McGregor after coming off of a broken leg than ever, in my opinion. Like, this is not going to be vintage McGregor. It can't be after that. Like, I'll be shocked if he.
And it'll be at 170.
It'll probably be 170. McGregor coming off the injury. If you beat McGregor and then bounce and then go straight into Jake Paul,
that's a good look. That's what I mean. That's a good look. So the UFC, they sound like pagans, but they might actually be setting him up for something nice. Yeah. You know, it sounds like if you look at it on the reverse side.
Well, they're trying to find anyone who McGregor could fight on a comeback fight, really, and like Nate's one of the few who he'd probably have a chance against at the top level.
I don't want to see McGregor fight again. I don't want to see him fight again. If he is, I will watch it because I like fighting.
Of course.
But I mean, I don't want to. Just you're good. You're good.
Yeah, what you do? Mate.
You're good.
Yeah.
It's really that simple.
Mate, he's calling out Kamaru Usman.
Why?
Why? You've just lost back-to-back fights with Dustin Poirier.
It doesn't make sense.
Usman, everything Dustin Poirier brings to the table,
Usman does better.
Times it by 10.
Yeah,
like
he's a dominant champion, like extremely dominant,
brutal
champion.
as well, like
and versatile.
When he knocked out Masvidal, that was like a shot heard around the world.
He hasn't even been using his wrestling recently. Yeah. He's been using his boxing. He's been practicing his stand-up, going into fights and saying, I'm going to practice stand-up today. And then he's got that covered. And then he's going to take McGregor down and it's done, isn't it?
Yeah, you could do it any way he wanted to. And that another thing is, like, I don't think McGregor understands the power difference between him and an Usman.
Yes, I know Usman walks around at cruiserweight, like 200 pounds, 210, something like that. That's crazy.
Beast.
And then he diets down to 170. He's a big guy.
The thing that made me, I think the Colby fights made me realise how great Usman is, but Burns Chimaev, did you watch this fight recently?
No.
Right.
No, I didn't.
Kazmat Chimaev, this sensation from Sweden.
Yeah, I've seen a lot about him.
Mate, you have to watch this fight, right? One of the best fights this year. Boxing, MMA, doesn't matter, right? Unbelievable, right?
I want to see it.
Now Burns rocked Usman in their first fight, and then Usman went on the jab and just finished him after a few rounds, just destroyed him. Burns gave Kazmat Chimaev kittens. Like he really had him in a war where he had to dig deep, and even at the end, Burns is hooking him in the head. Like it was so competitive, and that's when you realise like
a scrap.
This is someone who Usman dealt with quite comfortably, really, after that one shot that he took early on. If I'm McGregor, I'm thinking.
So you can appreciate his skills differently.
Yeah,
with having that comparison.
Yeah, and and then Conor McGregor's talking about in a comeback fight he's going to take on Usman. Are you mental?
Listen, proper 12 is banging. It's everywhere.
He's drinking too much of it.
Like you're good. That's what I mean. You're good. He's got his suits. He's
like, always in a suit.
What do you want to do? What's your plan?
It's ego, mate. And this is the thing: is like I feel like he's going to come back and someone's going to destroy him. Who he thinks again, like Dustin, not on my level. And reality is going to be like knocking at the door, isn't it? Like, which is sad. You don't want the fighter to have to get to that
We've
point.
We've seen it a lot though in the fight game.
I mean, Khan's just gone through it.
Legends that go outside. It's not a good look. You know, they're still legends, and we still go watch Holyfield at any time, and we still like wow. But it's like, don't worry, don't watch the end bit. Watch him, watch him until 2000 and da da da. After that, don't watch him because you're not gonna really see what he's like. You know, just give the people what you're your best and leave it. That's how I look at. That's how I view the game.
Absolutely, and like I just interviewed Muhammad Ali's grandson not long ago.
Okay, well, Nico.
Yeah, and when I was doing my research on Ali, it really hit me like how sad it was at the end for him, and that's like the ultimate boxing story, you know. And like you think, fuck me, just quit while you're ahead.
It's true, but no one. But when your achievements are so great, people don't even talk about it.
Yeah,
like I'm sure there's a small percentage of people that realize how Muhammad Ali's career actually ended.
Yeah,
but it's not even just about the people. It's about the damage that you could have saved yourself from. You know, fighters, when we're fighting, we don't think about that. Because of course we're thinking about fighting, but you got to know when it's time. These things are going to stay with me now. That fight's going to stay with me.
Yeah,
you got to let go.
One of the other big YouTubers, Logan Paul, has called out Paddy the Baddie.
I see this.
How mad is that, right? You've met Paddy on the show.
Yeah, Paddy's cool, man.
He's sound, and we were hanging out with him before the whole blow up happened
of the UFC. Yeah.
And like, I get why Logan would want to pick him. Logan loves the publicity, the magic, and Paddy brings that. But like Michael Bisping's done a video very recently calling Logan a coward for picking on someone who's a lot smaller than him in terms of actual fighting weight. Obviously Paddy fights 155. Yeah. I think Logan something like 195.
190, yeah.
It's a big difference.
Big difference.
What Logan said was, look, I can make 185. Paddy balloons up. We'll meet somewhere in the middle. And what Bisping's saying is like, why don't you fight someone your own fucking size, sort of thing?
So he's saying to fight him.
Yeah, or what?
Or a middleweight.
Or just like an Anderson Silva or someone like that, you know. What's your take on that? Because it would be in the UFC. It wouldn't be a boxing match. So Paddy has all the ground game.
Logan is smart, man. He knows exactly who to pick. And with Paddy, he's thinking, I'm a big guy. I wrestled. he's better than me, but maybe the size, again, with a bit of wrestling experience, I can do a little something and make it seem like, wow, yeah, Logan could have done MMA. That's it.
The weird thing is, that for me would be a fantastic entertainment spectacle.
It would, and there's a lot of money in it.
Yeah.
So when I see him say these things, I'm like, people just straight away take out your head the weight difference. There's no belt on the line here. This is not, no one's trying to climb the ranks. This is, I'm getting paid, and the promo's gonna be great, and you're all gonna watch it. And he ticks those boxes.
And if I broke the fight down in my head, I'm like, Paddy can bang, and he probably hits a lot harder than harder than most lightweights do. He's got great submissions, so if Logan takes him down, Logan ain't safe.
Got to protect his leg,
exactly,
neck, arms,
and then you got Logan with a great wrestling background. We've seen Logan wrestle Paulo Costa. He fucking went with Paulo Costa and rolled with him and looked fantastic in wrestling. And then obviously Logan's boxed. So there's a part of me that's like, I fucking watch the shit out of that. Like, I'd pay 100 quid.
You have to watch it. I'm watching it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a ridiculous call out. Like, I understand why, I understand why he wouldn't fight Bisping either.
Dana went on Logan's podcast and he was like, let me fight in the UFC. And Dana went, I'm not saying no. And that was that's all he needed to hear.
That's it. That's all he needed to hear. So now he knows that door's open to him also. This guy, come on, we've got to give him his flowers. He's doing WrestleMania 1 minute. How you doing WrestleMania? That's big. WrestleMania. He
looked good as well.
And he's at doing suplexes 3 in a row. I was like, yo, I used to do this one on my cousin. On him. But no, he's good, man. I rate what he's doing. He knows how to keep a business flowing and branch off also. So I got nothing but respect for Logan.
Obviously, in the world of YouTube boxing as well, JJ is coming back.
He's coming back.
A lot of people leaking that it's going to be like August. He's going to put on a big boxing fight. Talks of his opponent. He was chatting about Thor on the Sidemen podcast, but it's since sort of been like, all right, that was a bit of a joke, tongue-in-cheek sort of thing, or maybe someone's had a word with him. Have you talked?
I haven't spoken to him about it. I know you know what JJ's like, man. He goes off saying these things. No one's gonna stop him from saying those things. Yeah, that's who he is. That's what he does. But he could change his mind again, though.
My favorite thing was when he went. He was like, when he's recharging, I'll just hit him. I was like, mate, this isn't a boss on Crash Bandicoot. Like,
when he's
fit. You know what I mean? He'll keep coming. But it looks like Alex Wasabi.
Yeah.
After Alex won against Deji. First off, like, what do you make of that as a matchup?
I think it's a good matchup for JJ to take as his first fight back after how many years?
3, I think, yeah.
3 years.
3.
It's going to be almost 3 years.
Yeah.
Good opponent, get a quick redemption for your brother. And I think he just hits too hard. People don't realize how JJ hits.
And Alex is a smaller guy than him.
Alex is smaller anyway. Once JJ whacks in a couple of those hooks, I think he gets Wasabi out of there. 3 rounds.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's a good opponent. I honestly think it's a good opponent.
He's a nice boxer, make him look fair, good. Alex. Yeah,
Alex.
He's fit.
Got good shape. He's fit. You can see he takes the game serious when he's been practicing it. He's gonna dig deeper than he's ever looked to dig before because he understands what that does for him. JJ realizes that he can't lose, hence the Doc name. And they realize if I can win, this changes my life. Alex Wasabi is already big amongst the community and his fans, but now you transcend over into a different sort of theme. If you
the KSI show, KSI. It's a whole thing.
It becomes it becomes a big thing. So he's gonna train in a mad way. He should anyway.
I think technically in that fight, he fought more technically as a boxer than JJ has in his fight so far.
And he probably, if they fight, that will probably be the same story.
He would look more like the boxer.
Yeah, he might look more like a boxer, but JJ's gonna whack him.
Yeah, it's like
it's one of them ones.
I agree.
It's not gonna be the pretty who's prettier. It's gonna be Alex holding good shape. Bang, right hand. Ooh.
And if Alex wants to make it competitive, and obviously we'll all be rooting for JJ, but I also want to see a good fight, and I don't want a squash match in 1 round.
Yeah, no, neither do I.
And I think what Alex would have to do is he'd have to play that. Hit and not get hit and run for the fucking hills. Like, tag him, move, like Usyk type stuff.
Yeah,
Obviously,
it's not a trading battle.
Yeah,
it's definitely not a trading game plan.
You'd have to come in super fit, so fit,
yeah,
to keep running.
It's not a trading thing.
Yeah,
he's gonna have to really box around him and have his strategy down pat. JJ as well can't take Alex Wasabi for granted.
That's the one worry I would have. That's the only worry is like,
you can't do
it's
that.
been a good few years. You forget about the grind. Like, obviously JJ's kind of been training in the background, but not as seriously as he once was.
There's a difference, yeah.
And he just has to be like, because when he speaks so confidently, there is a little bit of, as a friend, you all right, just make sure you fucking put the work in though, yeah? You know
of course,
I mean?
you want to know he's ticking the boxes.
Yeah.
You know, I hope so. You know, this will be the first time he fights and you guys don't see me
exactly
in the corner.
That'd be weird,
it's
right?
Gonna be, it's going to be a bit weird, but I've accepted that. So when I see it, I guess it will come over me like, oh, look, I'm not the one giving him advice. But at the same time, I know it's that time in life now. I can't be that guy. I got to give myself advice.
Hey, mate, you and him were undefeated together as well, so that's a nice way to leave it.
It's a good way to leave it. I want to see Wasabi. I want to see someone else. That someone, I don't know. And then Jake.
Yeah, the Jake fight. That's always going to be something people pay a fuck ton of money to watch.
How much would you pay?
I think people would pay like Anthony Joshua money for that fight. A certain crowd. I'm not talking about boxing.
Are you saying ticket sales, not pay?
Our crowd would pay Anthony Joshua money for that.
Yeah.
Especially if you went like, let's throw the Eddie Thor rematch on the undercard.
Yeah, big show,
mega show. Then yeah,
I'd say what? So you pay
because nobody was even there for Eddie versus Thor.
A grand ringside ticket.
I think it would be massive. Yeah. I think it would be huge because JJ's stock now as the pop star fucking rapper
what venue?
Is so high. Jake now is basically the biggest talked about guy in boxing other than Canelo. So what it would have been, ironically, if they'd fought originally, is nowhere near what it will be now.
100%.
Yeah. So if they accidentally have stumbled onto making way more money than Fair Fox,
where could hold that fight?
It's got to be England. People in America, I don't think are as in tune with this whole thing, and this is where it started. So this is where it should finish in a way. Like that is the fight to finish it all, in my opinion. Because
what Emirates?
Do you know what it is? They could probably fucking do Tottenham or something like that.
No, we don't want JJ in Tottenham because he's an Arsenal fan.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why I said Emirates.
The O2,
he has to stay over
the
there.
O2, something like that. Like
O2.
Yeah, O2.
But there's a capacity difference between O2 and a football stadium.
They could do a stadium show.
I think they could do a 60,000 because people travel. People from Europe quick fly for it. I know
because it's been like years.
It's been building for too long, and we got there's so many communities with large followings that will come to that fight. The traditional boxing world will be there.
I just hope JJ puts the work in because we know Jake has been putting the work in, and watching Jake lately hit pads, just being brutally honest, I've never seen JJ ever hit pads the way Jake does at the moment. There is a gap there that he has to catch.
I know some elite pad man, can't lie.
I know what you're saying. Pads don't mean
like, and just because you hit the pads with better technique don't mean you hit the person.
I'm talking about obviously like the knockout of Tyron Woodley, the level he's looked better.
You can't
even JJ acknowledges even though he believes he'll win, he accepts like I have to make the ground up.
Yeah, now. Anyone that tries to say that JJ looked better than Jake has looked would be gassing.
Yeah, he's put the time in. JJ's been doing the music thing.
Yeah, it's different, and even when he was boxing, it's different. But that's what makes it so intriguing. Because if JJ was looking so bad and Jake was looking so good, why is the fight? Why do you think the fight's even then?
Well, so Eddie versus Thor, obviously that went down. One of my favorite of this whole celebrity fighting thing. It was possibly the best match in terms of entertainment for me.
Yeah.
Kind of felt, looking back at it when I was live watching it, I was doing my little reaction. I didn't really fully notice at the time. I thought it was like a ploy from Eddie that he'd been hiding the whole time about how he was going to fight. I didn't really realize that clearly one arm wasn't working. And then I felt sorry for Eddie because in my head I'm like, I don't know why you've had to take this fight in this time. I feel like there's maybe a contractual thing because nobody in their right mind would go in there with one arm against Thor. And yet he still dropped him. Like, credit to Eddie, like the heart he showed in just going for it. But I still believe Eddie can win that fight if he has the right coaching and both arms.
Both arms, yeah. Let's start off with both arms first.
Yeah.
So that you give the coaches something to work with. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I think Eddie done well, man. He done well. As you said, putting it into perspective, having one arm, he done well. I felt like watching the build-up fight week, I thought, he's not entirely confident. He was getting angry a bit too much. You know when someone's getting angry a bit too much, it's like, why are you so angry?
That was so entertaining.
You know what I mean? It was entertaining.
Those press conferences were so much better.
It's like I feel like you're covering something, you know, when you.
Well, clearly he was.
You know, and that's what he's exactly. And you know, he done his thing. Thor, he boxes well. You can tell whoever coaches him understands the game, and they're passing it on to him. Eddie, with two arms. Completely different fight, because even as the fight going on and you start to look in the late rounds,
but it's easy to avoid that one weapon,
right? And he's southpaw anyway, so he's already moving to his natural right, and you're swinging with your right. I'm just moving away from you at this point. I kind
of wished. I mean, it's easy to say this, but I don't know how bad the bicep is, obviously. But I kind of wish he'd even fainted more with the injured arm and just put it out there and make him believe of it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's like that takes a lot of. It takes more mental capacity than you think when you're so new to the game.
Yeah,
we're talking about me and how my brain can lead to me not boxing, how I should box.
Exactly.
And then Eddie, who's just started, you're just thinking, this arm, I can't use it, but I'm still fighting. I'm gonna hit you with this one.
Yeah.
To start thinking, I'm gonna feint, even though this one don't work. Like it takes some thinking.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? When you're in that position. Yeah. So that's why I give him his credit. I didn't like everyone.
They piled in on him, and I felt
I didn't like that.
I felt bad for that, because in my head I thought, I was like, okay, I get his boxing technique, this, that, and the other, but like this is his first ever fight, and he's fighting a guy who's 6'9".
I didn't respect it.
Like, what does he have to do to gain your respect, guys? Like, yeah, of course he's not perfect at boxing. He ain't a boxer. He's the world's strongest man. Did you not read the title? Like
Titan Week. That's what they were fighting.
You know I tried to, in my preview, explain that to people. Like, these guys aren't, like, they'll bear hug the life out of you if they want. You know what I mean? Like, they're fucking animals.
Like, I just want him to hold that bicep. I don't know if sometimes, an injury can put you out of it. You just go, I don't even need to go back now. I'm going to do movies or something instead,
But he says he wants the rematch.
That's good. I would like to see it, but just go in 100%.
I would change his trainer, putting that out there. I know he spoke very highly of his trainer, said a lot of nice things, but like, I think some minor adjustments in there would have made him so much more effective. And I don't mean just the fight, I mean all of the training footage. When I did my prediction, everything I looked at Thor was doing technically was better than Eddie.
Right.
Everything, but I looked at Eddie's power and I thought,
and speed.
So in my head I was like, okay, I get Thor's the better boxer, and I always pick the better boxer, and this is the one time I didn't. But I thought it ain't going to matter at this age because they're so young in their boxing years. Eddie'll just blitz him, and he nearly fucking did.
It was very close. It was very close. The knockdown was. I was gassed when I see him knock Thor down. I thought, good.
And he was landing over and over with ease.
But then when fatigue sets in, we all know how it is thinking about boxing when you're tired and not injured.
Thor's earned my respect. I'm not I haven't been a fan of the way he treated Eddie back in the day, but like I had to say, like, he humbled himself and probably took a lot of beatings in the gym in order to get to understand what he did. His management of the ring and all of that was pretty clean. Like, it
was good. It was a good spectacle, and I think better than most would have thought would happen.
Fitness wise, the size of them.
You done, what was it, 6 rounds?
6 threes as well.
6 threes. Bring the rematch with Eddie having 2 arms.
So it sounds mental.
That's it, though, isn't it? It's that simple. Just let him have 2 arms and see how it goes.
Yeah, I do think that a lot of people haven't factored that in, because Eddie didn't want to be the guy to make the excuses. On to your future. You got one soon? Because I'm sure you're trying to find soon.
Nothing I can talk about, even though you're my guy. Do you know what I mean? I can't say nothing right now.
Yeah.
On camera.
Time frame wise.
We're going to be out before... my birthday's in July. For those that don't know, I will be out before my birthday. Yeah. And then I want to make sure I fight a few more times this year as well. I know it's essential for me to be in the ring.
So 4 times a year, something like that?
Yeah. But it's just, I know, and I'm starting to realize everyone's path is different. So I'm just living mine.
Before we go, I'm sure all the fans will want to know, how's Derek doing?
He's all right, he knocked out my tooth last fight week. but it was an accident. It was an accident. Changed. No, he was showing me a move I should have used, to be honest. Yeah. Can't even lie. When I watched the clip back, I'm like, if I would have done that, I probably would have knocked Wilberforce's tooth out too.
Explain this scenario. I didn't know this. What happened?
He's like, my cousin over here, Ninja, he's a gaslighter.
Oh, right,
That's what I call him. Yeah, he's a gaslighter. So when him and my dad together, they bounce off each other. They're good energy.
All right, yeah. He got your dad excited,
but
huh?
he got him in the mood.
That's not a good thing.
No, and I should have moved my head because it's fight week anyway. Anything that comes at me, I should be slipping. Whether it's chewing gum punches, whatever, I should be on point. And he just showed me a move, bang bang. And the tooth, that tooth, yeah, man, it's
it needed to come out anyway, right?
Yeah, it's listen, it's fighting, innit?
You should call Derek the dentist. That should be his nickname.
Listen,
Derek the dentist.
Listen. This is what we're talking about. This is what it's about. Experiences. Things that people don't know that's going on, and they start judging you. And then I sit down with Brian 2 months later, and I'm like, "Did you know that same week? I got my tooth knocked out. Did you know about that? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's good, and there's no, it's me and my dad, isn't it?
Of course. What was it? I seen a little bit of footage which I loved seeing because it was like the good old days of hearing Derek's words of wisdom on IFL when they had you in the locker room.
Yeah.
What was it like when you got home and you both just sort of? Right, well, we won. What was that?
It was like it was a good feeling because it was building for so long. My dad, we know he's my lifelong coach, but it's the first time he's been in my corner. Yeah, which is an interesting.
It was nice to see them interview him afterwards.
So it was like, he's like, we done it, and we didn't do it on a small show.
Yeah,
we didn't do it with an easy opponent, and we have extremely high standards, but the win was still good fashion.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to look at it level-headed and say, we know my potential stretches way higher than that performance.
Mm-hmm.
The next ones will keep growing and improving, but we've done it now. That box is ticked now.
We're looking forward to it, mate. We'll definitely get you back on as you climb the ranks and no doubt have a belt around your waist.
Thank you.
Hopefully a few.
Will do.
And
it's just pending.
Yeah, gotta be done. That was Viddal Riley on the Pain Game podcast. Don't forget to check out his YouTube channel, doing the great boxing content, all of that good stuff, and rolling cheeky with your mates.
Come on, yeah, rolling
gotta
cheeky.
Shout the boys.
The boys in the building. Yes. Rolling cheeky, always rolling balls as well. Give them everything, man.
All sorts.
Love.
All right, and we will see you on the next one. Cheers.